This is the OnePlus 7T Pro, and you'd be forgiven for thinking that you've seen it before, because the differences between it and its predecessor, the OnePlus 7 Pro, are fairly minimal. But with the hype all going on the OnePlus 7T, is this really worth buying, or is it iteration for the sake of iteration? To best understand this phone, we really need to compare it with its predecessor and with the 7T. It's basically a super minor spec bump from the previous version, with the latest and greatest processor, fewer RAM configurations, a slightly larger battery, and some, well, adjusted colour options. Advantages over the 7T? Well, you get a high resolution display, larger battery, 3 times telephoto zoom instead of 2 times, and a bezel-less design. In fact, that bezel-less design is going to be the deciding factor for a lot of people. This thing is gorgeous. It's got curved and rounded edges, smooth lines, and a pop-up selfie camera. It's up there with the best of the best smartphones in terms of design and build quality, and that's pretty much what we saw earlier this year as well. And as before, a case is pretty much a must considering how slippery and delicate this phone is without one. On a similar note, the curves of the OnePlus 7T Pro are going to please different people different amounts. Some will find the rounded corners a little bit too much with light deflecting on it in different lighting conditions and being a little bit distracting, and others like myself find little to no distraction in it at all. There are some very minor exterior changes to distinguish the two. The laser autofocus module that is now to the left of the camera assembly. And of course the haze blue colour instead of last time around's nebula blue. And from an outsider's perspective, if I was to hand you the OnePlus 7 Pro and the OnePlus 7T Pro, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. The speed is still rapid thanks to its use of top shelf hardware, the display is still sharp and super silky thanks to its beautiful 90Hz AMOLED panel, charging that battery is still blazing fast thanks to Warp Charge 30T, and the cameras are still, whilst not the best in the smartphone, still versatile thanks to the use of 3 different focal lengths. It's still a really good phone for a much lower price than its competition, but because it's not brand new and groundbreaking, that was the OnePlus 7 Pro, it's hard to get hyped about this smartphone. Not to mention all the love and attention that the 7T is getting. Some notable usability improvements come to the camera and software departments. Starting with the latter, the 7T Pro is launching with the new Oxygen OS 10 based on Android 10, making this one of the very first smartphones to come with Android 10 out of the box. And the camera hardware hasn't changed much from last time around, but there are a few software improvements to keep that 7T Pro up to date and current. The new macro mode is available by clicking this little button in the top right, which is a really awesome mode to have, but it not being in the mode drawer is a little bit confusing. Though mentioning these improvements, I did notice particular lag when taking photos, pressing the shutter button on the 7T Pro, and this was widely across all of the different lenses. Now, it did take a little while to actually actuate the shutter, not necessarily processing the image like we've seen on the Mate 30 Pro. It made me miss my shot a few times, and honestly, it was kind of annoying. Battery life was a pretty big concern with the 7 Pro, and I'm happy to say that in our testing, the 7T Pro fared much better. I was getting a full day of moderate usage, watching a few YouTube videos, playing 2048 in my lunch break, and using about 2/3 Wi-Fi and 1/3 LTE. I was finishing the day with well over 20%, which is better than a lot of people were getting with the 7 Pro. And I'd go to sleep, wake up with 15%, and charge it right back up to 100% in an hour. So if I had to sum up the changes here, the 7T Pro gets marginally faster, has a marginally better camera, has significantly better battery life, and comes in some new colours. Is it worth upgrading to from the 7 Pro? Absolutely not. But is it worth upgrading to for those who couldn't get it before from different older smartphones? Yes, this is a brilliant smartphone. And the reason I'm not more hyped about it is just because we've seen a very similar product from OnePlus earlier this year. The design still wows everyone I show it to, the back is just absolutely gorgeous in that colour, the cameras are great, the battery life's great, the speed is unreal. It's a really good smartphone. It's just kind of been done before. Okay guys, thank you for watching my OnePlus 7T Pro review. If you enjoyed this one, please do check out the full written article in the description, which will go into much more detail than I did in this video, just for the sake of time. Also, please do like and subscribe if you're new around here to never miss a video like this one. I've been Ryan Thomas with Android Authority, and I'll see you later. Peace.